Howdy guys, I'm Jordan, Outdoor Adventures Rental Center Supervisor. It's getting really hot out there for the summer, so today we're gonna learn how to tie boats on so we can get out and back to the lake safely. All right, so the first step of tying your boat on is to lift it on top of your vehicle. When we do this, we wanna make sure it gets on and even and stable so that it's not trying to fall off before we even tie it on. To do this, I'm gonna enlist the help of my friend Jason, and we're gonna lift this boat up on top of the vehicle. It's important to note that you want the flattest possible part of the boat to be down on top of the car. So for this canoe, we're actually gonna flip it over so that the flat gunnels will be on top. For some kayaks, you might wanna leave it right side up because the seats will get in the way. So let's lift this. We'll flip it over. And we're gonna go right on top. We're gonna slide it to the middle of the car, and we're gonna check that it's sitting flat and balanced before we do anything else. If your car does not have a top rack, foam blocks will be provided to help protect the paint job in the roof of your car. To set these foam blocks up, for a canoe, what you'll need to do is lay the canoe out beside the vehicle, even with where you want it to sit on top. You'll then find the strongest parts of the roof of the car, which will be right before the windshield, where the frame is, and right at the back, again, where the frame is. In the middle is mostly sheet metal and will bend. To attach these foam blocks, you'll simply expose the rail and attach around the gunnels of the boats. You'll then move those in accordance to where the structural frame is of the car. When putting boats on top of cars, one thing you need to watch out for are antennas. Antennas, we need to make sure to keep safe on top of the cars. Most antennas can be unscrewed and removed temporarily to allow for more space on the top. To do that, you'll find your antenna and then lefty-loosey unscrew it from the base. You can then store this inside your car to attach after the boat is taken off. So now that the boat is up there, to secure it, we're gonna use these blue NRS straps. These are super helpful. You don't have to worry about tying knots or anything, and they're really strong. To begin with, you're gonna wanna throw it over the top of the canoe. To do that, you're gonna wanna hold the metal buckle and throw the rest of the strap. We don't wanna crack any windows today. So here I go to throw to Jason. It goes right over. He's then gonna open the door and pass it through the car. And I'm going to open this door and he's gonna hand it to me. The reason we're going through the car is because if my truck did not have these top racks, this is how we would secure the boat to the chassis of the car. This method can be used to tie any boat onto any type of vehicle out there. When tightening down, I want to keep this buckle out of the car because it makes it easier to tighten by using gravity. To fasten these NRS straps, you must put the end tail into the back of the buckle. The buckle has a press on it. The back is the open side where you can see the springs. You'll just push it through, release the press, and you can still tighten it, but it won't slide backwards. Once we have the first one fairly tight, but not as tight as we can get it, then we move to the second one. The reason we do this is because we want to tighten both at the same time to create even pressure over the boat. Now with both sides just hand tight, Jason will come over here and we'll tighten both of these at the same time. To finish tightening these straps across the belly, Jason and I will count down from 3 and pull down as hard as we can at the same time. 1, 2, 3. When doing that, we want to make sure not to dent the roof, and if it does, then to ease up just a little bit on the straps to relieve that pressure. Once you achieve the proper tension, you can tidy up the tails of the ropes by just putting them inside the vehicle and shutting the doors. Once you get the belly straps on the boat secured and tightened, before we leave, we want to make sure that we secure the boat in all the directions heavy wind will hit it while on the road. When driving forward, wind is mostly going to hit this windshield and try and push the boat up. To counteract that, we're going to add what's called a bow line to keep that nose down as the wind pushes up. To do that, you will need to attach loops to the axle of your hood. So we'll lift up your hood. No, it will rest on the boat. You then take these loops that Outdoor Adventures will give you and loop them around the axle. When doing this, you want to make sure that the double fisherman's knot stays outside of the sheet metal as to not bend it. When attaching the rope loop to the hood of the car, you're going to want to loop it around the axle that attaches the hood to the rest of your chassis. To do that, I grab the double fisherman's and pinch it like this and run it around the axle and then back through its tail end to girth hitch it around that axle. Once finished, it'll look just like this, and you'll have one on each side. Once they're in this position, you can close the hood. Once the rope loops are tightly secured, you can then take your third NRS strap and lace it through the first loop, up through the handle, or if there's a small hole, you can go through that as well. I'm gonna go through the handle, and over to the other side. Jason is then gonna run it through the other side's loop, back up through the handle, and back to me. Once you properly lace through both loops, the handle, and back through the buckle with your NRS strap, you can then hand tighten the rest of the slack out. No, we don't want to over tighten and put our entire weight into this because there's no need to pull this nose any further down. We're just trying to keep it from ejecting off the top of the car. Now that we have our two belly straps on and our front bow line, we can do what we call here the shake test, which is where you grab the middle of the boat and you give it a good shake to make sure it's nice and secure. It can have a little bit of vibration in it, but mostly we want it to stay in place as it's up there. To finish off your boat on top and to make sure it's road legal, you'll need to attach the flag to the back of the boat if it exceeds 3 feet past your tailgate. Obviously, this boat does not need it. However, to demonstrate attaching it, I will attach it. You're going to apply the same girth hitch you used to attach the rope loops to the hood to attach this flag to the back of the canoe. You will run the black strap through either the handle or the loop or the hole at the end of the canoe and the flag through the black strap to let it hang out in the back. When renting out stand-up paddleboards, we will often send you out with a SUP bra, especially if you have more than one stand-up paddleboard. What this achieves is it attaches the stand-up paddleboards together so that when tying down, you will tie down a package instead of 2 vessels. It will also give you places to tie down on the otherwise flat surface. To attach the SUP bras, we will separate them in half, and each one of the white loops will go around the ends of the SUPs. Once you have them around each end, the NRS strap will attach back together in the middle and tighten to keep the SUP bra on the SUPs. You now have several options for tying these down. When placed on the vehicle, you can run NRS straps through the SUP bra in several places to keep it tied down. And that's how you put your boat on the vehicle. Now you know how to do that. We look forward to seeing you. Come rent stuff from us and get out there and get adventurous.